Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 23, 2317, Doubleshot number 2111. This is right now the last one this website to do for this Epic Collection from Captain America. We have Captain America Epic Collection Volume 19, Arena of Death. This book collects Captain America 411 to 419, Annuals 11 and 12, Ghost Rider / Captain America Fear, U.S. Agent, the first volume of this miniseries, which is 4 issues, and material from Suicide Wild Pack number 15. The writers are Howard Mankey, Roy Thomas, Mark Greenwald, Gregory Wright, Dave Wall, George Carradine, James Brock, Peter Sanderson, Barry Dulter. The artwork is done by Lee Weeks, Larry Alexander, Rick Levins, MC Women, Steve Butler, Grant Mayhem, James Brock, and Rich Yoksky. The cover art is done by Rich Sibbons and Don Hudson. The back cover is by Lee Weeks. The main book itself covers the period of January 1993, and it concludes in September 1993. So, not that far period of time. Now, the first thing we have here is the Captain America Fear, Captain America Iron Man, Captain America / Ghost Rider Fear. This is a one-shot by Howard Mankey and Lee Weeks. It is a one-shot where you have Captain America teaming with a Dan Ketch Ghost Rider to take on Marvel's Scarecrow. Yes. Yep, him. And I gotta hand this one-shot. This one-shot's artwork is gorgeous. I love the fact Lee Weeks did an excellent job with. We see Ghost Rider get involved. Ghost Rider basically does his normal thing. This basically feels like definitely that Howard Mankey, who was writing, he was actually writing the book at the time, so he basically wrote pictures that Mark Greenwald, hey, can I do this one-shot? Sure, why not? That's probably what happened. It's an extra one-shot, I'm glad they included it. Yeah, but the cover is basically a replica cover. Yeah, and that's the first thing you have in here. And you think, okay, what's next? Citizen Kang! Yes, this was the first of the 2 annuals in this book, Annuals 11. Now, the main annual, the main story, Epic Adventure, that's done by Roy Thomas and Larry Alexander. Captain America Top Villains, George Carradine and Larry Alexander. Captain America is written and drawn by Elliot Brown. Cap's Jet, probably just a words picture by Elliot Brown. James Brock and Mark Greenwald does the test flight. And Bartholomew Warlord is Peter Stevens and Richland. So basically, the whole thing with Citizen Kang, just basically, Kang is like the main villain of this series across like this like basically time altering story. Test Flight is a Falcon story. Yes, a Falcon story. Because of course these annuals will occasionally have the supporting characters doing solo stories in the annual. Yep. The second story is basically Kang. It's basically kind of in a way Kang's rise to power. That is mostly put exactly what that story is. Yeah, it just details his rise to power. Shoot, let me see here. Yeah. And the whole thing of time travel stuff here. Really cool they include this in here. And then move on to the Arena of Death. That basically starts with 411. We have Diamondback taking on, you have fighting Falcon. And it's sort of a fight. Basically like a sparring match. You have Diamondback basically sitting seductively on Cap's desk. And of course he would have American flag in the back because he loves America. It also features the return of the Skeleton Crew. You might be thinking, is Diamondback's brother in these issues? Nope, he is not. He is absent from these issues because he disappeared for several years. Yep. Yeah, the whole Arena of Death thing is basically kind of like it's a fighting thing involving Cap fighting a whole bunch of villains. Battle Axe, Oddball, Trump. No, not Donald Trump, just a guy called Trump. There's also the Beetle, Speed Demon, Whirlwind, Ringer, Flying Tiger, Bodrick's Brigade, Ringmaster, Rhino, Hammerhead, Wildfire, Moonstone, Gladrix, Tombstone, Leo, Scorpion, Spymaster, Stealthman, Shockwave, Boomerang, Boomslang. Boomslang? Who the heck is Boomslang? He is a he's a minor character. Blizzard, Tarantula. Tarantula's not the original one, it's a different one. Knockout. Dragonfly, Shocker, Hydrant. Lady Deathstrike, Manate, Mesmer, Titania, Vertigo, Water Wizard, Black Talon, Frenzy, Electro, some of the Mutant Force, Eel, the second one, not the original. The original died back in the 70s. His brother basically arranged to where it's a brother of the original one. The original was killed by Scourge in the one issue of Ghost Rider of all things. Bombshell, Thermo, Sunstroke, Firebrand, Killer Strike, Puff Adler, Arcana, Rock Python, Mutant Bull, Scream, aka basically Songbird, Anger the Screamer, Pile Driver, Triple Iron, Mad Dog, Iron Maiden, Ramrod, Superior, Blackbird, Snapdragon, Razorist, Mentillo, General WoW, Absorbman, and Behind the Scenes Record in the Claw. Wow, that's a lot of villains. It's basically the way Cap basically having an all-out brawl with a bunch of villains. That's mostly put exactly what this book is. We also feature Shang-Chi in these issues too. We also fighting like Modam. You're thinking Modam. It's basically a female MODOK. That's mostly put exactly what this character is. And this character was killed off at the start of the Captain America relaunch, 1998 at issue 3. Yeah, she is a creation of Steve Al Milgrom. She became Modam in issue of Ka-Zar. Yes, Ka-Zar. Yeah. Yeah, she thought she was actually the first wife of Hank Pym, just basically somebody else. Yeah. And she's here for basically for 412 to 414, and then she's done till 440. She basically makes a handful more appearances after this one. In a couple issues of Iron Man, one more issue of Captain America, and then she was mentioned killed off in that Captain America issue. Yeah, part of this book, she only had just appeared. She previously appeared in 391. That was her previous appearance. If you're curious, though, the Arena of Death stuff wraps up, I think, with 414, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So, then, of course, Ka-Zar. We also have Zach Moonhunter. You're thinking, who the heck is Zach Moonhunter? Just a Moonhunter guy who just, well, appears in this book. And I think that 414 wraps up the Arena of Death stuff. Yes. And then we go to the Savage Land for a few issues, which is always fun. Love seeing the Savage Land here. Yeah, and that lasts from 415 to basically 416. Then we have Cat fighting Terminus in 417. In 418, he fights the Night People. Yes, the Night People, who are creation of Jack Kirby. They just happen to make a return in this book. And if you're curious, what was the previous appearance part of this one issue? It was actually during the Arena of Death stuff. Yes, at the 418, they made 2 more appearances after this. Issue 440 and Captain America St. Wilson 23, which is License Shahirs book. And that was it. And finally, we have, of course, Captain America 419, which is a crossover with Silver Sable 15, which they included in here. Yep, they included it in here. Yeah, it just basically just a crossover with that. And as for the rest of the issues, U.S. Agents basically, there's actually a backup story that does set up basically his feature in that book. Yeah, the in-depth stuff is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Let me get to the annuals. Now, the 12th annual does not have any like tie into annual crossovers. No, it doesn't. I'm not sure why. It just doesn't. So it's like 4 issues of the Arena of Death, 2 issues of Savage Land, issue of Terminus, Night People, and well, that's it. Just lots of action. Just keep Captain busy for a few issues. And the only reason why that they included the Silver Sable book is because Cap makes a guest appearance there, and that continues in this issue of Captain America. It all involves Vipra. Yeah, it's all involving Vipra. Basically the leader of Hydra. Yep, that's most of what it is. And you think, okay, is that it? No. Next we have the 12th annual. We have Blood of the Fighter, written by Mark Grable and David Wall. We have MC Wyman on the artwork. We have In This Quarter, The Battling Benton. Of course, same creative team. Benton returns. Barry Ditter, Grant Moore. It's mostly put a boxing issue. That's mostly put it is. It's basically, yeah. It's mostly put a multi-part story that deals with a single boxer appears as annual. That's mostly put what this annual is all about, a boxer. And then we finally move over to the U.S. Agent miniseries, which Mark Green wrote this one too. Yeah, most of this one is just U.S. Agent dealing with a remains of the. He mostly is dealing with Scourge in the World. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in this 4-issue miniseries. Mm-hmm. He also is dealing with a character from his run. I think this is a good idea. They actually set this up in like part of this book. He had just appeared. I think he had just appeared in the Captain America book. And my only guess is the reason why they made him basically, well, give his own mini-series, because he's probably popular enough at the time to get his own miniseries. He's had like 3 miniseries. I view his most recent one. Yeah, part of this one, he just wrapped up his time. He was also appearing in this book while appearing in West Coast Avengers. Yeah, it's like this book came out during the dying days of that book. Yeah. Also appearing at the same time period in Mighty Thor. Yep. Now you might be thinking, was there like a particular book that said this miniseries? No, not really. I mean, mostly put it just John Walker dealing with the Scourge, the Underworld in the 90s. Yeah, he deals with a version of Paris issue, just Paris in one miniseries. Yep, that's mostly what he deals with here. Basically deals with New Scourge, the Underworld. Who gets killed off by the end of this miniseries? Yeah, and I think this guy was this guy in here, he was the 4th person who assumed the title of Scourge. The original one, he actually died. Yeah, the original one, Denzi, he got killed off in Captain America 320. The second one had appeared in... First popped up in Amazing Spider-Man 270. He got killed off in 362. The third one was a Red Skull operative, who only appears for issues of Captain America. And you have this guy. The 5th one was a woman. Yes, a woman. Named Caprice. Yep. Then we have Bloodstain. He's also Scourge in the World as well. He's only in Justice miniseries as well. Yeah, he was just basically just some random vigilante who got killed off. By issue 4. They killed him off. Oh yeah, and also it's revealed that the group we revealed that basically the person behind this is in fact Thomas Holloway, the original Angel. So yeah, he was one responsible for the Scourge, the Underworld. Yep. Yeah, and that's pretty much what we wrap up here with that one with this trade here, because that's all in this book. It's just basically the last thing in here, just this 4-issue miniseries. Mm-hmm. Which was really good. Yep. Yeah, a lot of fun. I'm going to give this book roughly a 10 out of 10. So, yeah. Moving on to a Iron Man Morrow Masterworks. Yes, Iron Man. And if you're curious about him, he has 3 more books left. And then he's done. Yep, but lucky enough, his books do get past issue 100. So, at a certain point when I run out, there's actually a Epic Collection starts with issue, I think it's 158. I'm going to basically do a review of the in-between issues. So, this book, we have Iron Man, Masterworks Iron Man Volume 11. Yep, this book collects Iron Man 82, 94, and Annual 3 and 4. If you're curious, why would the first two annuals collect in here? They were reprints. Yep, reprints. Excuse me. Your writers for issues 82, 85 is the late Lean Ween. Bill Mantle is 82, 86, 87, and the fourth annual. Archie Goodwin does issues 88, 90, 91, 94 is Jerry Conway. Roger Schiffler does 84, 95, 84, 85. 90 is Jim Shooter. Herb Tempera does the writing for issues 93, 94, co-writing. Roger Stern does Steve Gerber does the third annual. Roger Stern does the fourth annual. Herb Tempera does the artwork for issues 82, 85, 93, 94. George DaCosta does 86, 92, and number 4. Sal Bushman was the artwork for issue number 3, and Jeff Allison does artwork for number 2. This book covers the time period of January of 1976 and wrap up with January of 1977. Yeah, we have 1 year worth of comics here. First up we have here is basically Iron Man versus basically a bunch of apes. Yep. Yeah, pretty much basically, of course, these year worth of issues. We have the first appearance of Michael O'Brien, issue 82. If you're curious about Michael O'Brien, he basically was one of the guardsmen. I think he's still pretty much around. He doesn't do very much at all. No, not really. He basically appeared on a regular basis in issue 82, and he was here for quite a while until he stopped appearing in issue 109. Yeah, he was here for quite a while as a supporting character in this book. There's also Abe Keene. He is not around very long. No, he isn't. He gets killed off later on. We'll get to his death later. Yeah, he does die. But, yeah, and basically, yeah, like I mentioned, Iron Man versus Red Ghost, who's a little ghost in this issue. And this lasts for about a couple issues. The Red Ghost himself will pop up again back in Fantastic Four, right after this one. In 84, he takes on the Freak, who is Happy Hogan once again. Yep, Happy Hogan turns to Freak once again. And this lasts for about 3 issues. Actually, about 2 issues. And then he fights a Blizzard. Yep, he fights Blizzard. Well, the original anyways. Who last appeared back in June of 1963. When he appeared as Jack Frost. Yeah, this was, of course, like I mentioned, the original one. He got killed off back in Amazing Spider-Man in number 20. Yes, and if you're really curious, though, he appeared also for the very next issue as well. And next he appeared in Marvel Team 56. And then pretty much basically we continue with the third annual, where you have Iron Man with the Fantastic Four and the Vision, dealing with Owen Reese, the Molecule Man. Is also Molecule Person. It's just a woman. Yeah, and also Man-Thing is here. Yes, Man-Thing is in this annual. He last appeared back in Marvel Premiere number 28. And he next appeared in Incredible Hulk 197. We'll get to him later. Next up is basically issue number 88, where you have the Return of the Blood Brothers for issue 88. Yep. For 89, he teams up with Daredevil, taking the Blood Brothers and the Controller. Yep, the Controller. And it continues issue 90. And by 91, basically, well, we have Whitney Frost being Chrissy Longfellow. We continue the saga controlling the Blood Brothers, which wrapped up with issue 91. And then in 92, he fights the Melter again. Yes, the Melter. And if you're really curious, when was the last time he fought part of this issue of Iron Man? This issue number 92. He last fought back in issue 80. Yeah, issue 80. After this, pops up in the issue Defenders, and he disappears again to issue 123 of Iron Man. Yep. And you might be thinking, though, because Melty, did he get a brand new armor? Well, if you're really curious, though, of when he had to stop wearing the Mark IV. Mark IV he wore for quite a while. If you're curious about Mark V, he doesn't wear that one until much, much later. Yeah, Mark V to make his debut until 1980. Mark IV is also one of the more long-lasting armors. Yeah, he actually continued using it until issue like 140 something. It was 140. It was basically, let's see, when he switched over to Mark V with issue 142. Yep, that's when he switched over to that one. Yeah, Mark V is more of a long-lasting armor. It's armor you have for the longest time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, yeah, 85 was the debut of this armor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, after a battle with the Freak, he had to get brand new armor, which he continued using up until, well, the 80s. Yep. And then in issue 93, he fights Commander Kraken, who I believe is a Namor villain. Yep, he's a Namor villain, who last appeared part of this very issue back in the Cat number 3. Yeah, so he fought the future Tigra. And in the final issue of this book is basically him still fighting, well, Iron Man. Iron Man's fighting Commander Kraken. And then he dies in his next appearance. No, seriously. Next time he shows up is when he dies. In 1986, roughly 10 years later. It's like, okay, let's not do nothing for this guy for 10 years and then kill him off. Yeah. It's almost like, what was the point of this character in the first place? If he just appears in Submariner, pops up in the Cat, fights Iron Man a couple times, and he dies? Yeah, my guess is he probably wasn't that popular character. That was usually the reason why they killed these characters off, but yeah, it's like, okay, fought Iron Man, fought Tigra, Iron Man dies, Captain America most courage in the world. Yeah, so not a lot here to say here with this one. Aside from the fact we had a debut of brand new armor, which I should probably show off that armor. I mean, aside from the fact we have debut of armor and basically Michael O'Brien, there's nothing really noteworthy about these issues. In fact, it's just more. It's just good Iron Man stuff per se. Just nothing really a lot noteworthy stuff. And here he is. This is basically Mark V, which looks similar to Mark. This is the Mark IV armor, and well, he uses it for a decade. Yeah, he used it for 10 years. Basically, puts these bracelets on and basically just forms the Mark V armor that way. Yep. And Mark III lasted for quite a while. Mark III lasted for 10 years. Like, if you're really curious, though, about the Iron Man armor, the Mark III had made his debut, like, basically in 1965. And then, basically, he used the armor for, oh my gosh, 11 years. Yes, 11 years we're using the armor. And it got damaged, and he decided to replace it with, well, Mark IV. Which is, my friend Edgar's, it's his favorite armor. Of all the armor, it's his personal favorite. Now, Mark V would not make his debut until 1980. Which, this one didn't appear very much. No, it didn't. It appeared for just for a small period of time. And it got replaced by Mark VI. I think it was like very briefly he used this when they went back to his Mark IV. 4 he used for quite a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're curious though, when in the world did he officially stop using this, you might ask? Well, probably not until you use Mark VII. Let's see. Because the next two are just basically short-lived armors. Yeah, stealth armor used for a very brief period of time. That made his debut in issue in 1981. It's like the 80s, basically. He used a lot more armors. I think he did get more replacement armor until he introduced the Silver Sanctuary armor. When once that was introduced, that's when he decided to switch armors. Yeah, definitely. hmm But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. Particular view. Next up is One Piece. Okay, to the next video. Bye.